Okay, hi all. Um, yeah, Russell, why is this week very tough? Huh? Don't do this to me. Yeah. But um, it is okay lah because we postpone the presentations, right? It can help a bit lah, right? I'm using microphone to do. Okay. Actually, I don't really understand when you said I'm using microphone to do. I will need to wear uh, mask because in my place now there's the dust. Oh, okay. Oh, mm-mm. Okay. Better, I found the extension for my mask first. Okay, so today for the first session, for the first 1 hour, we will do our tutorial lah, we check. And then for the second hour, I will let you all to do your um, viewpoint. Okay, so I can see that only few students have done the tutorial. The latest I checked just now is only 3, but I believe when I assign questions, then you all can, and I give one sometime, then you all can find the answer lah. Okay, let me check first. For the questions one, I want you all to open the tutorial questions. For the questions one, there's a back-to-back testing. So we didn't cover that during our lecture, so you all can ignore that. Back-to-back testing, um, it is not covered, okay? So you can ignore. But if you are curious about what is the back-to-back testing, you all can search more info about that. Okay, so I will assign tasks. So you all can, I will, and then after that, I will give 10 minutes for you all to find the answer. And then after that, we discuss. Actually, there are only few questions, so I will assign. Okay, with questions one, I will assign Kelvin. Kelvin. Questions two, 1A. 1A one B will be, this one will be shock. One C is I good. One D is slim. Okay, so that is the list of students who should do the questions number one. For questions number two, I will ask uh, Daniel. Questions number three, I will ask Russell. Questions four, I will ask him Jeremiah. Okay, so the list of the student with the questions is already posted in our chat. You all can try to answer that. And then we will discuss that again on 9:21, 25 lah, 9:25. Huh? So for those who are not assigned, also still need to read and then try to answer, because maybe later I will ask also. Okay. Elvin already submitted lah. Okay. We I will give you all at until 9:25. And okay, please give me raise hand if you understand. Okay, so I don't see raised hand from Kelvin, Elvin, and Daniel, and also Wong and Jonathan also. Kelvin, Jonathan, Daniel. Because your name is in the list, Kelvin and Daniel. So I hope you are there, and please do the questions like that. Okay, you can put down your hand. Okay, so the machine that emitting gas is already stopped. And I can open my mask. Okay. Yeah, I can see Kelvin answer is all from the slide. Yeah, actually, the suggested answer is exactly like what Kelvin answered, but that is actually not a real suggested answer when you should answer in your test or in your exam. Okay, so it will be used by the marker to compare either you are using from the slide or not. Okay, so like I said just now, yes, for now in our tutorial, you all can answer like this. It is 100% from the slide, but during the actual exam letter, please use your own words to describe each of these. Okay, so Kelvin, done. So we proceed to shock. Okay, for those who just joined me, This is the list of the student with the questions number. Okay, maybe Miss open a doc and then everyone answer there. So easy to see. Yeah, good. Yes. I think we're using Jamboard lah, right? Mm, good suggestion. Because Jamboard, if our one page is already full, you can proceed to the next page, right? Mm. Okay, so you all can put all of your answer in our Jamboard lah. Using sticky note is I think faster lah. Please put your name and questions number. Mm. Oh. So Shak, you also can Shak and Kelvin can put your answer again in the Jamboard. If your answer is too long, you can move to another page. Yeah, so I think we should implement this in our next tutorial, right? Oh yeah, one page, one question also can put your name at the top so that your friends will not choose the page. Hmm, good, good. I think after this, we will use the Jamboard often lah. Yeah, can use text also lah. The sticky, sticky notes seems like cannot write a lot of words. The weakness of Jamboard is we cannot put table. Okay, so I read Shark answer lah. Huh? We check Shark answer. Okay, so I think I better just share the screen. We will check the answer for those who already answer lah. Okay, so this is for questions one. So I already commented this. Okay, so it is like this lah. It is correct, but from the slide. Please make sure to answer using your own words in final exam. Okay, so I can use a sticky note. All of you can check this letter. Okay, so for questions 1A, yes. Okay, so questions 1B, better use Google Doc. For now, since we already started, I think we continue using the Jamboard first lah. So in our next class, maybe I will see first what is the form of the answer. So if it is required table, then we can use Google Doc lah. Okay, so yeah, Ivan come out with a good way lah on how to uh, answer the table thing. Okay, so we proceed to Shak. Questions 1B. Let me check first because the questions it is not just asking the explanation of each of the testing, but it is also asking the relationship. Okay, for questions B, I can see that Shak also answering using the slide. But the most important thing, you didn't tell the relationship between these three testing. Okay, so this is actually out of slide questions. I think because it makes you think about the relationship between these three. Okay, so who already answer the relationship about unit testing, module testing, and subsystem testing? 1B. Can I ask Noel? What do you think the relationship between the unit testing, module testing, and subsystem testing? Yes, correct, Elvin. Okay, so yeah, so okay, Elvin already answered. Okay, yes, so that is the answer that we want. Okay, because you can see the pattern. Each of this testing, it is testing the combination of each of the individual component. Okay, so um, we can pause Elvin answer here in our Jamboard. So one weakness of Jamboard is also it cannot make what new line. Okay, the more we are using Jamboard, the more weakness that we can find. That is actually explaining why in the maintenance phase you can find more error compared to the testing duration, the testing phase. Okay, because during the maintenance, the user is using the system longer than when they are using during the testing. And then the real user is using the system continuously. So yeah, so they can find more error or weakness, okay, for from that system. Okay, so we proceed, but I will also show the suggested answer for questions B. Okay, so you all can see here lah. Elvin answer is good, but he doesn't include the example. Okay, so this is what what is actually you can answer, or this is how you can answer better. Okay, so the relationship between unit testing, module testing, and subsystem testing is unit testing start from single component. Several components will be tested as a module in a module testing. So several modules will be tested together in subsystem testing. Okay, so I think Alvin answer is better when it is explaining the relationship, but Alvin answer doesn't have example. Okay, so this is the example that you can choose lah, or you can answer. For example, in the student affair department subsystem, there will have student modules, staff modules, and a student. Sorry. And in a student module, they will have a student registration component and student profile component and etc. Okay, so what it want to say here that each of the component will have its own individual component that is combined together to make up one subsystem or one module. Okay, so you all can see here because After this, I will not give whenever I will not give again the suggested answer. So and I also won't give in our Jamboard lah. You all can see here now. Maybe you can screenshot. I don't want later during before the final exam. Okay, then you all ask me already. Miss, can you please give us the suggested answer? No, at that time I will not give because I already give in our tutorial time. Okay, so we proceed to questions number 1C, Ivan. Okay, so 1C is asking about two test cases. Okay, so assume you have online customer service system based on following format. Okay, so we have example from our slide about this test case table or test case form lah. Okay, so Elvin answer is okay. So test case to test customer login to test customer logout. Okay, easy apa? Because you don't want to think uh, what is the functions of this system, right? Okay, so you just want to test the login and the logout. Okay lah, it is not wrong. Okay, okay. And then test data is username and password. Okay, so account to successfully login. I want to comment lah here. You need to tell either your test data is valid username or valid password. That one you need to mention. Okay, Ivan? Because when you test, you will need in your test case, in your actual test case letter, you will need to tell either what was entered is valid username or valid password or not. So barulah the expected result we can expect lah what to appear. Because if it is you just put username and password, we don't know either the username or password is valid or not. Okay, so it is important to put, yeah, valid username, valid password. Oh, I cannot make can I change the yeah. So when I change the one, I mean when I we cannot change one word, it will change all. Okay, so valid password, valid username, then you can expect to have a successful login. Okay, so to test, yeah, cannot to. So to test customer logout, then you can just apa tu, click logout button. Uh, you just need to. I think this one you may set click logout button. Okay, so here click logout button. Okay, so after that account is successfully logged out lah for the expected result. Okay, so the suggested answer for this. Mm, okay, so actually we can assume whatever that relevant and for that system. Okay, so you imagine that you are facing or you are using that system, and then you are you choose the relevant answer. Okay, so Elvin answer just now also relevant. So I accepted it, but I just add, for example, this one valid username, valid password. Because later you may have another test case. For example, to test customer login. And then you can have another test case for it, which is invalid username, invalid password. So your um, expected result should be the account is not failed to log in lah. Okay, so that is important. You put valid. Okay, so for this one also you need to put. You cannot just put a noun here, which is login button. You need to put the verb also, because we don't know what you will need to do with the noun, with the logout button. So put the verb also, because it telling what we should do with the logout button. Okay, Ivan. Ivan, where are you, Ivan? Okay, so this is the suggested answer lah. Okay, so here it start online to start online chat, and then the test data is only the username, and then chat windows is activated. So yeah. Okay, so here type message in online chat windows. Okay, so you write this and then check the expected result is the message appear in the windows lah. If no, then the remarks will be failed. Okay, so we proceed with the questions 1D. 1D is Lim. Lim, are you here? Oh, Lim is not here. Okay. So, can I ask Noel to answer questions number 3? I can give you time. I will get back to you later. Okay. Okay, so we proceed to questions number 2 lah. While Noel is looking for the answer. Okay, so Ivan, are you here? Beta, change layout. Time. Okay. So you understand lah the test case just now, right? Okay. We proceed to questions number 2. Questions number 2 also blank. Questions number 2 should be Daniel. Wait, I check first. Okay, so Daniel is here. So, okay. So we still don't have answer for questions number 2. Daniel, do you have any problem? Oh, so can you please try to answer questions number two? Okay. So we proceed to questions number three first while waiting for Noel and Daniela. So questions number three, it is asking about okay, it want to compare two testing technique or strategy to test the system integrations. Okay, so I think these questions will is asking about your opinion on what are the two testing technique that you can apply for this scenario. So standard printing company is established. Okay, the main business is designing and printing advertisement. The graphic designer is using a legacy system to design advertisement for customer. So the design is stored as both PDF and doc in the legacy system. The documentation of the legacy system are incomplete and the system is programmed in an obsoleting programming language. Recently, the company is considering the purchase of Atlassian Jira in assisting their advertisement project management. The owner, Mr. S, is consulting you regarding the cost of the two. Okay, so you need to compare two testing technique that can test legacy system. Okay, so we and check Crystal answer now. The two testing technique to test the system integrations are bottom-up testing and regression testing. Okay, so bottom-up testing involves testing starting with the fundamental models and work upwards. Testing will start with testing the legacy system before adding form modules from Atlas. Okay, regression testing involves rerunning the test for prior increment when a new increment is integrated, which can become expensive. Okay, so bottom up. Okay, wait up. Okay, so actually the suggested answer here it didn't tell like it tells some suggested answer, but it also says that other testing technique are acceptable based on explanation. I think this regression testing is lack of explanation because it is only telling what is the regression testing, but it didn't tell how you implement regression testing based on the scenario. Okay, so for the bottom up testing, this can be, I mean, this is okay lah because because you also telling how that scenario or how this testing can be applied to the scenario. Okay, so like here, testing will start with testing the legacy system before adding modules from Atlassian Jira. Okay, so this one is okay. This one you need to tell how you will do regression testing in based on that scenario. Okay, so the suggested answer is here actually. For me, Actually, for the bottom up, I don't really think it is suitable, but still can be accepted lah here, because if you bottom up, meaning you start from the smallest module first. So usually, bottom up, when you have access, or usually bottom up will be started with the programmer, but in our questions it didn't tell lah, either they are including the source code or not. Okay, so let me check again. Okay, so yeah, so I for me kan, for me lah, but you give your answer, then I think it is acceptable lah for this bottom up, because usually bottom up it will be um, good if you have the source code, because it will need you to test each individual component first. After that, you combine them, become module, and then after that, you combine each of the module, become the subsystem. And then after that, you combine all of the subsystem to become the system. Okay, so since from the scenario it is a legacy system and then it didn't tell that you have the source code, then I don't think that is really um, it is really acceptable lah. But since okay, but here you said that it is start with testing the legacy system. So you make the legacy system as one whole component, and then after that you add the Atlassian. So this is okay, correct and acceptable. Okay, so I hope you all can understand. Russell can understand what I explaining. So because you assuming the whole legacy system is like a one component, and then after that you assume the module from the new Jira, then okay. Ah, okay. So this is okay. So that's why your explanations is important. How you use that system or that testing, based on the scenario, because if in my mind previously bottom up is from the smallest module or the code until you make up the one system. But after I read explanation from Russell, then I can accept that, because based on Russell answer, it is assuming that the legacy system is one component, and it is uh, integrating with the Atlassian, and then you are you are assuming that it is one module, then the second module is the Atlassian. So yes, this can be considered is bottom up testing and can be accepted. But like I said, regression testing is lack of explanation on how. Okay, already lah. We check. Okay, so which can become if problem arise from integrating with the legacy system, problem in previous increment should be checked if the new increment exposed or due to the increment of the functionality. Yeah, okay, so this is the the explanation that we want. Okay, so how to answer this kind of question yeah is first explain about the testing technique. Second, explain on how implement it will be implemented to the scenario. Okay, so this is the notes. Okay, so this is correct. Okay, so we proceed to questions number 4, Jeremiah. Okay, so Jeremiah, this questions is asking about oh, differentiate software testing stages, software testing technique, and software testing strategy. Support your answer by providing one example for each of the component. Software testing stages, software testing technique, and software testing strategy. Okay, yeah. Okay, software testing stages are testing stages and phases for a system testing to be performed. There are 5 stages, which are unit testing, module testing, subsystem, and system testing, and lastly the acceptance testing. Okay, yes. Software testing technique divided into 2 fundamental testing activity, which are unit testing and system testing. Okay, so system testing are to understand on how the component should operate perfectly, where testing will be performed by system developer. Yes. However, testing are written system specification and testing will performed by an independent testing team. For example, integration testing and release testing. Okay, yes, correct. Software testing strategy is a type of strategy which approach to the testing process rather to a method of create specific system or component tests. There are 2 techniques which are proactive and reactive. Wait, okay, so this is the suggested answer. Software testing strategy. Wait, okay, you all can see, this is the suggested answer. Questions number, sorry, for the software testing stages, answer from Jeremiah is yes, similar, and then accepted. And then software testing technique, for the software testing technique, then it is also accepted. And then for the software testing strategy, I think we haven't covered this one, kan? Software testing strategy. Because last time we didn't finish the lecture about software testing strategy. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I am really forgetful. Okay, so you all can see this suggested answer lah. Okay, so I think beta general approach. to testing the process. For example, proactive is approach which the test design process is initiated as early as possible, and then find the defects. Okay, so we haven't learned about proactive testing strat testing strategy. Okay, so but here, oh okay lah. Okay, yes correct. Jeremiah answer is correct, ah. But this is also the suggested answer and can be accepted. Jeremiah answer is also can be accepted. You see, ah, you can screenshot that here. Okay, Jeremiah. Okay, so um, we proceed again to questions number 2. We go back. Okay, Daniel. Stress testing to test the performance of the chat box boy by stress the system to analyze the effectiveness and messaging through all of the phases of the customer experience, and then black box testing. Kita questions number 2. Okay, so this is to ensure the chat box performance. Okay, so we can see here the the keyword here, the performance. Okay, so you remember if it is to check the performance of the system, we can use the stress testing. We can use the stress testing, and then Daniel also answer the stress testing. So this stress testing is to test the performance of the chat box by stress the system to analyze the effectiveness of messaging through all phases of the customer experience. Yes, and then black box testing or also can be used to, because it can test the behavior of the chat box which meet the requirement from customer and expectation from the developer. So yes, I think I agree with Daniel, but let's see with the suggested answer. We see first. Okay, so stress testing, yes. Okay, so integration testing. Okay, so integration testing is here. But in black box testing is also uh, okay. So other testing technique also acceptable based on explanation. So I accept black box testing too. Okay. So I think black box testing is more acceptable compared to the integration testing lah. But it is based on your explanation if you explain later, because your explanation may change the mind, the marker's mind. Okay, so I accepted Daniel answer. Okay, so we already used 2 minutes. Okay, so we proceed to the questions number 1D. Noel. Okay, so the questions is asking about 1D. Explain 3 testing process that would improve software testing process. Okay, so this is testing principle lah. So you can choose any testing principle that is listed from our slide, and then you can explain based on the scenario. Okay, so okay, so let me check Noel answer. Test should be planned long before testing begin. The test plan can begin as soon as the recommended model for the smart component complete. Test case can begin as soon as the design model has been confirmed so that the testing process can completed as early as possible. Okay, so yes. Okay, to be most effective, testing should be concluded by any independent third party. Hmm. Okay, so yes, I like how Noel answered because uh, he answered based on the scenario while explaining it. Okay, so the suggested answer, it is all from the slide. Okay, you all can see here. This is the suggested answer. This it is all from the slide. It didn't even um, related to the scenario. Okay, so I want you all to answer like what Noel answer lah. Okay, so but I can see that almost all the student can know how to answer this kind of questions based on your test previously. Okay, so yes, this is how you can answer. First, you need to understand first each of the principle, and then you explain it, you relate it with the scenario. Okay, so you all can check how Noel answer, and then this is accepted. And correct. Okay. So do you guys have any questions for this tutorial before we proceed to our practical? Let me check. Either Lim is here. Okay, so Lim is not here already. I want to ask about my answer on questions two. Questions two. Oh, okay, Alvin. Bottom up testing. You answer is bottom up testing and regression testing. Okay, so your explanation. Let me see your explanation now. Before that, first performance, because to test the performance. Hmm. Okay, so your bottom up testing, yes, I can accept. And then regression testing, because you assuming that each of the platform as one module or one component, and then you test each of them first, and then you test them together. Yes, okay, so that is also explaining the bottom up testing. Okay, so regressions testing, it works across different platform. Test one platform first, and then test with another added platform. We able to find the problem early by see the problem that appear after another platform added. Okay, wait. There's one platform first and then test with another added platform. You mean after you test the one platform itself and then you adding another platform and then you test them together lah, right, Alvin? How they okay, so if you mean like that, yes. Okay, correct also. Okay, so, the suggested answer you all can see here. Questions number 2. Okay, so here it says other testing technique are acceptable based on explanation. So based on your explanation, Alvin, I can accept. As a marker and examiner, I can accept because your explanation is telling or is also telling how the bottom up testing and regression testing works on that scenario. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I accept. Okay, Alvin? Okay. So if you answer, for example, just bottom up testing, you said bottom up testing, and then you just explain it based on the slide generally, without relating it to the scenario, and then I think I will not accept that lah, because the either it is accepted or not, it is based on your explanation. Because I want to know either you understand or not how the testing works. Okay, so for bottom up, yes, for based on Alvin, he understand that each of the platform can be considered as one module, and then when it is integrated or yes, and then after that you test all of them. After you test each of the platform, and then you test them all together. Okay, so it is also explaining how the bottom up lah. Regression testing also the same. Okay, so it is based on your explanation. Either your answer is accepted or not. Okay. Okay. So any other student that want to check the answer? No. If no, then we can proceed to our practical lah. Our practical is, let's check our assignment. Okay, so should be based on our schedule. This week should be the presentation for part 2. But because last week we are busy with tests, so we can postpone that to next week. So no worry. Okay, so in this week, you all should finish this viewpoint oriented analysis. Okay, so carry out a viewpoint-oriented analysis to identify all necessary viewpoint involved in the proposed system and justify the roles, the importance of each of the viewpoints involved. Okay, so here I want you all to create the viewpoint hierarchy, and then you explain each of the viewpoint, how they contribute to the system. Okay, so from all the indirect, direct, interactor, indirect, and domain viewpoint. You all discuss among your team member before 11 a.m. and then explain each of the, like I said just now lah, each of the how each of the viewpoint can contribute, how they use the system, what they will, if they are not using that system, what they will contribute. For example, for the indirect, although they are not using that system, but there must be how you must tell how each of the indirect viewpoint influence the system requirements. Okay, so this viewpoint analysis, it doesn't need for you all to submit on 11 a.m., but it can be submitted on Monday. Okay. Click, 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 click. Okay. So, but we still open our Google Meet up until 11 a.m. now. You can ask me during this time if you have any problem. Okay, so I'm here, but I will off my camera and mic. You can use any platform, Discord or whatever platform that you are familiar and comfortable. If you want to later you need to submit using our Google Classroom. I will create the notes now because previously I forgot some of your assignment. I forgot to create the note here, the submissions place. Then you email it to me, right? So now I will